Towanda Braxton has officially snapped, and the reason why has the entire Braxton family spiraling into chaos. In a moment no one saw coming, Michael Braxton Sr. broke the family's golden rule: never speak on Ashley's true origins. But in a reckless interview with a local Atlanta gospel podcast, Michael let the secret slip: Ashley's real mother isn't who the world thinks she is. Within hours, the clip went viral. Fans were left gasping, producers were panicking, and Evelyn Braxton reportedly stormed off a set in tears. But it was Towanda's explosive reaction that broke the internet. The usually composed sister came completely unglued, unleashing a fury no one expected. "He had one job, shut up," she screamed in a leaked voicemail. "Now it's all out there and she's going to hate me." With Ashley already questioning her identity, and Tamar jumping into the fire with fresh receipts, this scandal is spiraling out of control. And Michael? He's gone radio silent. The truth is out. The damage is done. And now the Braxtons are left to pick up the pieces or let the entire legacy go down in flames. This isn't just a family drama, it's a full-on betrayal. The Braxton family had survived rumors, cheating scandals, public meltdowns, and even death. But what happened next shook the family tree at its roots. In a quiet corner of an overlooked gospel podcast, Michael Braxton Sr. did the one thing the family had feared for decades. He told the truth. And not just any truth, he exposed who Ashley's real mother actually is. With his voice calm, almost careless, Michael uttered a sentence that ignited a firestorm across the internet. Ashley wasn't Evelyn's child. She's not even her granddaughter. She was raised that way. But she belongs to someone else in this family. The host, confused but clearly intrigued, pressed him further, and without blinking, Michael confirmed it. Towanda gave birth to Ashley when she was very young. Evelyn raised her to avoid scandal. That was it. One sentence. And suddenly, everything collapsed. Within minutes, the clip was ripped from the podcast, posted to YouTube, TikTok, and every gossip blog in existence. Comments flooded in disbelief, fury, heartbreak. Some fans had long suspected something was off, citing old family footage where Ashley and Towanda shared strange tension, or moments where Evelyn seemed oddly defensive. But this was confirmation. And not from a distant cousin, not from Tamar's mouth, but from the Braxton patriarch himself. And Towanda lost it. According to a source on the Braxton family values set, production had just wrapped an interview with Tamar when a crew member rushed in with a phone in their hand, face pale. Tamar took one look and muttered, "Oh hell no," before calling Towanda. When the phone went to voicemail, she messaged her 3 words. "He said it." Towanda's reaction was immediate: screaming, crying, accusations flying. She called the family group chat in a rage, demanding answers. Why would he do this? Why now? She reportedly yelled through sobs. Evelyn tried to calm her down, but Towanda wasn't having it. "He doesn't get to open that wound. Not when I've been bleeding in silence for 30 years. And then, she disappeared. For 2 whole days, Towanda went completely off the grid. No social media, no contact. Not even Tamar could reach her. Insiders say production paused filming and postponed planned confessional shoots. The family feared she might have had a breakdown. And honestly, who could blame her? Because the reality was this: Towanda had carried the biggest secret in Braxton family history, and she never asked for it. According to previously leaked reports, she had Ashley as a teenager, and the family led by Evelyn decided the only way to survive the scandal was to raise Ashley as Evelyn's own child. That meant Towanda had to pretend her daughter was her sister. That meant every Mother's Day, she had to sit in silence while Ashley praised Evelyn. That meant every birthday, she watched from the sidelines. That meant every time Ashley cried, Towanda had to bite her tongue and swallow her grief. And now Michael, the very man who had benefited from the lie, decided to go on a podcast and air it all out like it was nothing more than an old church rumor. Towanda was furious. When she finally resurfaced, it wasn't subtle. A voicemail leaked, likely from someone in the production circle, where Towanda can be heard shouting through tears, "That man ruined my life. And now he wants to ruin hers too? He had one job. Shut up, let me live, let her live. She wasn't just angry, she was broken. Because for Towanda, the cost of silence had always been emotional. But now, it was public. Everyone knew. Ashley knew. The lie had exploded into ash. And now all that was left were shattered relationships, confused fans, and cameras scrambling to capture the fallout. Towanda's emotional eruption had fans shook, but nothing prepared anyone for Ashley's reaction. While Towanda vanished into silence, Ashley was left drowning in the fallout. Her phone was bombarded, DMs, texts, missed calls, all asking the same question she had buried deep for years. Is Towanda your real mom? And when the girl who had lived her entire life in someone else's shadow heard the truth from a podcast not from her family, she broke down. Sources close to her say she locked herself in her apartment for 48 hours, crying non-stop. She feels humiliated, a friend whispered. Not because of the truth, but because it was stolen from her. And Tamar? She didn't hold back. On her IG Live, Tamar ripped into Michael with razor-sharp fury. You don't get to disappear for decades, come back with a cheap mic, and blow up people's lives like you paid the bills through all the pain, she snapped. You had your chance to be a father. You chose silence. Now stay gone, she added. Towanda may have been forced to lie, but you, Michael? You created the lie. Meanwhile, Evelyn's camp scrambled. A Braxton family spokesperson released a vague statement that only made things worse. Some matters are deeply personal and will be addressed privately with love and grace. The fans weren't having it. That's not love. That's a lifetime of manipulation, one comment read. And they weren't wrong. Because Evelyn had been the gatekeeper of the lie. She had raised Ashley, not as a grandmother, but as a mother. And now, the illusion was collapsing in real time. Back in Atlanta, production on Braxton Family Values, Rebirth was halted. VH1 executives met behind closed doors, unsure how to move forward. This wasn't just a juicy plotline, this was a legacy-threatening revelation. One producer leaked that they'd never seen the family more fractured. Tamar is livid, Towanda is destroyed, and Evelyn? She's trying to rewrite the narrative like she always does. But this time, it's not working. Towanda resurfaced 3 days later in a private family therapy session, which quickly turned into a screaming match. According to insiders, the cameras were rolling when Towanda arrived and slammed her bag on the table. Why would he do that? What gives him the right? She shouted, tears streaming. Tamar tried to calm her down, but Towanda snapped. Don't you dare act like you didn't want this to happen. You've been pushing for this to come out. Tamar fired back. And you've been running from it. Maybe Ashley deserved better than your silence. Those words hit like a slap. The room fell quiet. Towanda looked Tamar in the eyes and whispered, You think I don't know that? She finally confessed what everyone suspected. She had begged Evelyn for years to let her tell Ashley the truth. But Evelyn refused. She said it would break her, but all it did was break me. Towanda's voice cracked. Every time I watched her hug Evelyn and call her mama, I felt like a ghost, like I didn't exist. The weight of those words shifted the entire conversation. Tamar, usually the loudest voice, softened. So why didn't you ever tell her yourself? She asked. Towanda's response stunned even producers. Because I didn't want her to see me the way I see myself. It was the most human moment in Braxton history. No edits, no glitz, just raw truth. Ashley still hadn't spoken publicly. But sources said she was processing everything and had asked the family to let her come to her own truth in her own time. Tamar respected it. Towanda too. But Michael? Still missing. Rumors swirled that Michael had received a cease and desist from Evelyn, who allegedly was furious over his reckless disclosure. But fans were demanding he be held accountable. Thousands took to social media with the hashtag number Michael Braxton must speak, calling him out for detonating a bomb and hiding from the flames. Meanwhile, clips from past seasons resurfaced. Ashley being ignored at family functions, Evelyn brushing off her questions, and Towanda staring at her daughter with a pain no one understood. Until now, the internet was rewriting the Braxton story. And this time, the truth had no PR filter. Ashley had been lied to by the three people who were supposed to love her the most: Towanda, Evelyn, and Michael. But it was Michael's voice that finally unraveled everything. And now she was forced to piece together a version of her life that didn't exist until 3 days ago. She reportedly texted a friend just one word: betrayed, because that's how it felt. Her world wasn't just flipped upside down, it had never been right side up to begin with. But the truth had ripple effects. The Braxton family's brand was imploding. The lie that once protected their image had become a ticking time bomb, and Michael's mouth had lit the fuse. Longtime fans were turning on the family. People who once defended Evelyn as a pillar of wisdom were now labeling her the architect of manipulation. Tamar, who usually held nothing back, had actually gone silent, sharing only a black screen on her Instagram story that read, "This is deeper than y'all know." Then came the next twist. A former Braxton family housekeeper came forward anonymously, speaking to a mid-level entertainment blog. And what she shared shook everyone even harder. Ashley was always told to stay quiet. Don't ask too many questions. Don't go through family papers. She didn't even have access to her birth certificate for years. She claimed, "One time I saw Evelyn snatch a letter out of her hand and tell her it was none of her business. I knew something was off." She also revealed that when Ashley started becoming more independent, Evelyn grew more controlling, like she knew the truth was getting closer. The idea that Evelyn kept Ashley in emotional chains to protect a decades-old lie, it was too much for fans to ignore. Petitions were launched calling for a full tell-all from Ashley. Some even demanded a Netflix documentary, claiming this wasn't just a scandal, it was a multi-generational family cover-up that reflected the real trauma in Black families across America. The lies, the silence, the protect-the-image mentality. Meanwhile, Towanda remained out of public view. Tamar was reportedly the only sibling trying to keep the family somewhat together. In a leaked voice memo obtained by a YouTube channel, Tamar could be heard telling a friend, "I told them years ago this secret was gonna come out, and now that it did, everybody wants to pretend shocked. Girl, I'm tired." The family was fractured, but the pain wasn't just internal anymore. Ashley's college friends, sorority sisters, and even past mentors were sharing how confused and betrayed she felt. One friend wrote in a now-deleted post, "She's not mad the truth came out, she's mad they didn't give her the dignity to tell it herself." And that hit deep. Because for Ashley, this wasn't about image, it was about identity. She was grieving not only a false version of her life, but the fact that she wasn't allowed to reclaim her truth on her own terms. What made things even worse? Michael Braxton Sr. still hadn't issued a formal apology. No call, no visit, no remorse. He was radio silent, likely under pressure from lawyers, publicists, and perhaps even Evelyn herself. But silence speaks, and in this case, it screamed guilt. Towanda's silence broke briefly when she posted a photo of a newborn hand holding a finger, a black and white image with no caption. Fans immediately understood, it was Ashley. That tiny hand, that moment, that stolen motherhood. The comments exploded with love and heartbreak. "You were always her mama," one user wrote. Another added, "It's never too late to be honest." But the pain Towanda carried couldn't be fixed in one post. Because she wasn't just grieving the loss of the secret, she was grieving the years stolen from her. The birthdays where she sat in the back, the graduations where she clapped from a distance, the late-night phone calls when Ashley cried to Evelyn not knowing her real mother was crying too. And now, the world knew. The family, once praised for their strength, was now being viewed as a cautionary tale of what happens when you value image over truth. Tamar, ever the fighter, reposted an old quote from Maya Angelou. "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." And that's exactly what this had become, an untold story, now finally bleeding its way to the surface. Towanda had kept her silence for decades, but now the world finally knew what it had cost her. And the pain that once lived quietly behind her eyes had erupted into a storm so powerful, even Evelyn couldn't control it anymore. The public had turned. No one cared about the Braxtons' awards, albums, or red carpet appearances. They only wanted answers. How could a mother be forced to pretend she wasn't one? And more painfully, how could a daughter grow up not knowing? As media pressure intensified, Towanda reluctantly agreed to film a one-on-one interview for the upcoming Braxton Family Values Reckoning special. Producers didn't prep her. No scripts, no makeup team, just a chair, a camera, and her truth. The first 10 minutes were pure silence. Then, finally, Towanda spoke. "I didn't choose this. It was chosen for me. And now my daughter is paying for it." Her voice was soft but firm. She explained how Evelyn had convinced her it was the only way, that no one would respect a teenage mother, especially not one connected to the church, the choir, and the Braxton legacy. "She told me it would ruin all of us," Towanda said. "So I let go of my child before I ever got to be her mom." She wiped her tears, then looked straight into the camera. "Ashley, I never stopped loving you. I just wasn't allowed to show it." That clip leaked before it ever aired, and it shattered fans. Thousands flooded Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube with number "Justice for Ashley," calling the situation emotional abuse disguised as family protection. Trauma counselors even started using the Braxton family drama as a cautionary case study. "This is not discipline. This is generational silence," one therapist said in a viral video. "When a child is forced to call their mother their sister, that child learns to distrust love itself." The cultural conversation was massive. But what about Ashley? Just as fans feared she had gone dark for good, Ashley resurfaced on a quiet Sunday night with a post that needed no caption. A picture of her and Towanda, side by side, eyes swollen, both holding hands. In the background, a lit candle burned next to a folded piece of paper labeled, "Day 1 of Truth." It was the moment fans had been praying for. Towanda shared the same image with one simple caption: "She forgave me. Now I have to forgive myself." The world watched in awe. Two women, one secret, and a lifetime of stolen years, finally facing each other with honesty. But not everyone was ready to move forward. Evelyn remained silent. And Michael? Still hiding behind lawyers, still refusing to acknowledge the pain his single sentence had caused. But Tamar wasn't having it. She called Michael out directly in an Instagram Live that garnered over 600K views in 1 hour. "You want to run your mouth and break us apart, but you won't even say sorry? You sat back and let your daughter suffer. And you're too coward to own it? Nah. That's not a father. That's a ghost." Fans agreed. Michael Braxton Sr. became the target of internet fury. Comment sections were flooded. His old interviews were re-uploaded with titles like, "This aged terribly," and "The quiet villain of the Braxton family." Meanwhile, Tamar stepped into the protector role she always danced around. She made it clear that Ashley was off limits to media. "She's been lied to her whole life. Let her breathe before y'all try to turn this into content," she tweeted. But the truth? The story was already content. VH1 bumped up the air date of the tell-all special by 2 weeks. Trailers showed clips of Ashley and Towanda hugging, crying, laughing, and finally, saying "I love you" on camera. Tamar narrates the special with a haunting line. "Sometimes the truth doesn't destroy you, it rebuilds you." And while the world prepared for that emotional release, one final bombshell loomed because a letter from Michael Braxton had just leaked online. Handwritten, scanned, dated 2 weeks before the podcast aired. And in it, he confessed. He knew what he was doing. The letter was short, handwritten, and devastating. In tight cursive, Michael Braxton Sr. revealed that he had planned his podcast slip weeks in advance. Not because he wanted to destroy his daughter, but because, in his words, "I was tired of dying with that secret in my chest." That line alone sent the internet into a tailspin. The man who had disappeared when the truth exploded was now admitting he'd dropped the bomb on purpose, and worse, he knew it would break Towanda. He wrote, "I watched her suffer in silence for years. I watched her give up motherhood, youth, and dignity for a lie we all agreed to. I didn't speak then, and maybe I'm a coward for waiting until now, but I wanted the truth out before I leave this earth. You don't get to ask why now, you should be asking why not sooner." The signature was shaky, but the damage, sharp as ever. Towanda, upon reading the letter, reportedly collapsed into Tamar's arms. According to a crew member, she cried for nearly an hour, repeating one line, "He did it to free himself, not to save me." And she wasn't wrong, because even though Michael claimed guilt, what he didn't do, what he still hadn't done, was apologize to Ashley. No phone call, no message, not even a handwritten note for her. And Ashley? Her silence was now a silence of power. While the rest of the Braxton family unraveled publicly, Ashley was rebuilding privately. She unfollowed Evelyn. She unfollowed Michael. And she posted a single message to her story that echoed across social media. "Silence used to be forced. Now it's my choice." The weight of that line hit fans hard. She wasn't hiding. She was healing and choosing who had access to her in the process. For the first time, she was in control of her own narrative. Meanwhile, Evelyn Braxton made her first and only public comment at a women's church event in Georgia. Instead of a press conference, she chose the pulpit, and what she said left people torn. "As mothers, we do what we must to protect our children. Sometimes the methods aren't perfect, but the intention is love." But critics weren't buying it. Love, they argued, doesn't hide a child's identity. Love doesn't erase a daughter's motherhood. Love doesn't silence the truth for 30 years. Tamar didn't hold back either. On her next podcast episode, she played Michael's letter aloud, letting every breathless line speak for itself. When it ended, Tamar looked into the camera and said, "If you're watching this, and you're carrying a secret that's killing your family, tell it now. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until it's convenient. Because the truth doesn't just set you free, it frees the ones you love too." And that's exactly what was happening, freedom. But not without fire. Towanda finally stepped into the spotlight again with Ashley, sitting together for an exclusive interview titled, "The Real Mother and Daughter." No tears, just truth. They held hands the entire time. Towanda admitted she hated Michael's method, but not the moment. "We didn't choose for it to come out this way, but I'm grateful it did. Because I couldn't keep pretending. I was tired of seeing my child from behind a wall of lies." Ashley nodded, eyes glassy but proud. "I spent my whole life confused, but I'm not anymore. I'm Ashley Towanda, and I'm done hiding." The room erupted in applause. Fans watching from home cried with them. The truth had broken them but also brought them closer than they had ever been. When the cameras stopped rolling and the lights dimmed, the truth still echoed in every corner of the Braxton legacy. Ashley, for the first time, knew who she was. Towanda, for the first time, was able to be who she had always been, a mother. And Tamar? She had become something no one expected. The catalyst for generational healing. But the scars were permanent. The years lost could never be returned. And the silence that once protected the family's image had instead become the very poison that nearly destroyed it. In the final episode of Braxton Family Values Reckoning, we see something we've never seen before. The entire family sitting in a circle, but there's an empty chair. Michael Braxton's. His absence was the loudest moment of the entire special. It wasn't just a physical void. It was a symbol of every missed opportunity, every cowardly retreat, every lie he allowed to go unchecked. Evelyn sat silently, her face unreadable. Tamar held Towanda's hand. And Ashley? She didn't cry. She looked at that empty chair and whispered, "You don't get to be here for the truth you ran from." That one line would go viral within minutes of airing. The episode ended with home videos, baby Ashley's first steps, awkward family barbecues, Evelyn handing her off to Towanda for a quick minute, not realizing she was handing her back to the real mother. And in the background, Tamar's vocals humming a soft, haunting lullaby. It wasn't scripted, it wasn't staged. It was a goodbye to the lie, to the pain, and to the silence. Back online, fans and celebs alike continued the conversation. Jada Pinkett Smith tweeted, "This is what truth looks like. Messy, beautiful, healing." Oprah's own network reposted the episode clip with the caption, "When truth finally breaks through, no one escapes untouched." The cultural moment was undeniable. What started as one man's offhand podcast quote had turned into a national conversation about family secrets, Black motherhood, and identity theft by silence. But the real question remained, where does the Braxton family go from here? Towanda and Ashley announced plans to co-author a memoir titled My Mother's Silence, with Tamar reportedly writing the foreword. The book promises to unpack the lie, the loss, and the rebuilding of a stolen bond. Meanwhile, Michael Sr. remains silent. Rumors swirl that he's been admitted to a private facility, but nothing confirmed. Evelyn hasn't spoken again since the church event, and the world has noticed. Because here's the truth. When silence is broken, someone always loses control. And in this case, it was the ones who held the secret the longest. Have you ever been forced to live a lie for the sake of someone else's image? Towanda's heartbreak, Ashley's stolen identity, and Tamar's bold truth-telling have shown the world what happens when silence becomes a prison. But their story also shows the power of breaking free. Drop a comment below if this story touched you, if you've been through something similar, or if you're finally finding your voice. Let's build a space where secrets don't survive but healing does. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs the courage to tell their truth. Because when one woman stands up for her voice, she makes it safer for every woman to do the same. Number Towanda Braxton. Number Ashley Braxton. Number Tamar Braxton. Number Braxton family drama. Number real mother revealed. Number family secrets. Number speak the truth. Number no more lies. Number healing starts now.